What's up, guys? It's Marcus with Metaphos, and I know it's been a while since we've been on screen here on the channel, but we got a very awesome guest today. Say what's up to Chai TCG, my boy. How we feeling, brother?
What's up? Yeah, it's been a while since, we've done a couple things, but feeling good after the past couple weekends.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole reason we got you here today, is that you've kind of been on a tear with Blackwings. You were always kind of known as one of the better Blackwing duelists in the scene, I feel like. But I feel like you haven't had like a long stretch of just doing really well over and over, and we're in the midst of that right now. So let's first, before we get into the deck itself, I just want to ask you, how have you been feeling about Blackwings in general, with your recent success getting top 16 at the LDS and then instantly turning around and winning the Chicago Monthly, one of our bigger ones too, to date?
Yeah, so with Blackwings, I feel like I know they've been doing really well online in general, like just seeing them top or win a lot of like online events, but like in person it feels like it's very more value coded, just because it's just a deck that is way more consistent, and like you don't get instant knocked out if you don't see whirlwind type of thing, and so like you feel like you're playing the game more if you're playing value, I think, a majority of the time. So a lot of people are gravitating towards that, but yeah, I just felt like, I want to stick to my roots of Blackwing. There's always times where you're discouraged, and like I also want to play a deck that can just top return burial off the top, but yeah, I think just being able to play Blackwings the whole time, and it's been something I've been used to. I just really felt like it was a good comfort pick for me, and yeah, I just like chatting with the boys about decks and stuff.
No, for sure. And you also play it so well. Me and a couple other guys are watching you, and I'm like, dang, it makes me really want to play more Blackwings again, because like my gripe with the deck isn't so much consistency as much as, in my opinion, when you're playing other like top quality players, you need a deck that gives you more chances to be lucky, because they're not going to be making like blatant mistakes. And that's one of my gripe with Blackwings, is like, you're kind of, if you don't see Whirlwind or Dad, you don't have many cards that are just like outright lucky, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Whereas,
no, I agree.
yeah,
like,
value's loaded with it, and yeah.
Yeah, those mid-level Blackwing hands are like the ones you really have to navigate through to get through like the Swiss rounds. Like if you're opening double Blizzard and like a Gale or something and a couple traps, you have to work your way through those until you start seeing the better cards of your deck. And so I think it's really rewarding deck to play when you can play it well. But I mean, obviously you're also going to open Nutty Summit all the time, so and a lot of decks can't deal with like the pressure that Blackwings consistently put out.
No, definitely. Yeah, and me myself, I haven't really played it since like February or March, really. So it's been a hot grip for me. So you might have to lead me through here if I have a couple of questions. But first, let's get into your LDS deck profile here, and then after we go through the deck profile, we'll talk about the tournaments.
Sounds good.
All right, so it looks like here you run the traditional monster lineup. Nothing different here. I know a lot of people have been switching to 2 Vayus. Have you tried that out at all? And if so, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, so I think the first thing that jumps out as soon as you look at this list is 41 cards in Blackwing. Like that's already a sin number 1. But this is due to my boy Eric Choi. Yeah, he's been basically there's a Blackwing chat that we talk about random stuff, and like just basically the side pattern like has been tough to figure out exactly with 40. Like the space gets tighter, we have to cut a draw trap, or we have to cut DDV, or like some kind of card that we feel like is core to the deck. And I know that they like played double value in their list, the other ones. But yeah, for me, single value has just always been the right call. Like anytime I open double value, I feel like I don't want to play that. Like that feels almost irrecoverable against certain players that know how to put pressure on you back. Like when they sense that your hand is weak, I think there's certain players that can tell, oh, this Blackwing player, like this hand is not as high quality, so I want to take advantage of that. And not everyone does, obviously, so you can definitely play out of it with double value some of the time, but I'd rather just reduce those occasions altogether. And there will be instances where it comes up that like double value can win you the game because you lured one away, or you need the play to go for the Brio bounce burst. But traditionally I just felt like the single value is the right way to go.
No, definitely, that makes sense to me, especially in a deck like Blackwing where because you don't have like all these unfair cards, your opening hand quality matters a lot. Yep. and you can't afford to have like even 1 or 2 dead cards in a lot of hands. So I don't even like drawing the 1 in this deck. So that's the reason I would never play the second. I know some people are like, oh, it's not like inherently a brick, and they're right. But a lot of times it's also just not contributing to like quality hands, if that makes sense. Additionally, I kind of think it's like training wheels in a sense. In the
I've heard you say that before.
So the reason I say that though is because, yes, if you draw 1, it sucks to have the second and not have the second in deck, right? But in any game you don't open it, you should almost never be resolving 2 Shuras, and the fact that you resolved 1 Shura is like normally more than enough. And then it still isn't like Shura is just a neg if you resolve it a second time, because you can summon your Gale, you can summon Clute, and the way you like navigate through your Blackwings, you have to keep these things in mind. And I feel like it typically only comes up as an issue when you've misnavigated somewhere along the line, because maybe you just instinctually, I want to summon my Blizzard, get my +1 with my Whirlwind this turn, and get a value, but that might be incorrect depending on the hand and game state, and so have you. But I'm a big believer in 1. The math actually changes pretty drastically in terms of how often you'll see it throughout a tournament. Very curious as to why 2 has become more popular.
Yeah, I think just like the whole Blackwing Discord has been saying, like, you need 2 just for the power ceiling of the deck, or I think it just makes you feel a lot more comfortable because it gives you like a defensive option to set. Like there's no real good Blackwing monster you want to set unless you have Blizzard in hand already. So like, yeah, it can protect your life. Yeah, you can like play into value like that deck better with like Ika, and then pop both their cards. But like they already play around Ika if they can help it. But no, I can see like the value in 2 value and like why people feel more comfortable playing it. I know a lot of people cut Gores to play double value. Like I know Yon Daime and like Red Gadget have played either with Gores and double value, or just cut Gores and play double value. But to me, in real life tournament, like Gores has been one of the strongest performers against any level of player. Like not the top level obviously, but like just throughout Swiss, having Gores in your main, I think is just something you need to do. I think Fraser also says like how he'll never leave a deck without Gores plus TT plus Mirror Force, because you have to have the cards that punish people for getting too greedy, or like attacking at the wrong time and stuff like that.
No, for sure.
So, yeah.
Also, I was just gonna say, if they see those cards at any point in like game 1, now they are like ultimately always going to respect it in some way, shape, or form games 2 and 3. So
yeah, I was just gonna say, like, I definitely think Gore should be in a side or main, at least for the current meta. It's definitely not that insanely strong in the Blackwings, like, because they have so many good answers to it, like Gale, Blizzard Gale combos where they just poke you a little bit and then make a synchro main 2. Obviously, like Icarus attack, it basically nullifies Gores completely. So
single Kalute.
Yep, single Kalute with the Shura. Like, do you really want to attack your Gores into it? It's just like so many plays that Gores isn't the strongest against Blackwings, but against Vayu and Hero Frog, it's really strong. So that's why I feel like you have to have it in some capacity in your 71 cards. Yeah,
no, I agree. I think kind of how I was talking about how the deck was lacking these like unfair power cards. Gores can be that in a lot of situations, which I like. Same reason why I know a lot of people choose not to play DDV anymore in Blackwings, but it's one of the reasons I think you have to main at least one, because it is that type of like unfair power card that exists in the deck. Speaking of which, let's get into the traps here, because it looks like your spells are pretty standard.
Yeah, it's just standard 6. Nothing will ever change for those 6.
Right.
I don't think.
Right. So yeah, I mean, opting to play 2 bottomless I like, but how was the DDV for you at the LDS?
DDV was like half and half. I'd say like it didn't overperform. It underperformed one of the rounds because my one loss in Swiss was the Nitro Vayu, and I dead drew for like 3 turns in a row, which is funny. It was Gores, Whirlwind, and DDV back to back to back, and I just got beat down by Card Trooper.
You're like power cards nonstop.
Which is pretty hilarious after I like had set cards. So yeah, you can brick on all your power cards as well, which is like pretty weird if it gets to that game state. But ideally you can navigate in a way where you can leverage those power cards to win you more games than you lose, and so far that's been happening. So.
Okay, makes sense to me. Another thing here is I see you still are opting to play the 1 prison, 1 mirror force. I know a lot of people play multiple prisons, no force, or they're still on multiple prisons and force. How do you feel about only playing the 2 battle traps? As this is something I'm still a big fan of personally, but
Yeah, I think it's just the right amount of protection that Blackwings need, because you don't always want to be removing their monsters because you have Sirocco stuck in hand like more often than not. And so like if they attack you with like Stratos, are you really want to prison that and then like not be able to summon your Sirocco next turn? It's like I think it's just balance. I find a good balance with it. I know there's some lists that have more prisons. Like it feels safer to have more protection, obviously. But like I think ProStorm said that like these are main phase 1 like hall passes basically, because like the opponent can now do anything they want in main phase 1 because you can't stop. Like I think this is why like we also value bottomless pretty highly. I know like the Nitro list doesn't play bottomless traditionally just from that one event, but I'm sure that there's lists sneaking that card back in. But like being able to interrupt main phase 1 plays are just very important in general, and so you know like it's basically just there to protect a field, and you're not always going to need to protect a field if you're like committing in the right way and like trading downwards.
Right. No, that makes sense. I also kind of like, as you were saying earlier with the Sirocco, at the end of the day, even though it's not Gladiator Beast, right? Blackwings is kind of a battle phase deck. So like if your opponent doesn't have monsters, now Shura is just an 1800 vanilla monster. If your opponent doesn't have monsters, you can't summon Sirocco. If your opponent doesn't have monsters, Bora's also just a special summon from hand vanilla. Like not saying that the piercing effect's that great, but like your deck is a battle phase deck.
Right.
So yeah, I do think they're a necessity, like you said, because of the main phase 1 hall pass. I haven't heard that before, but I kind of like it. Some of the time, obviously, but ultimately, I do think you don't want to like ever really be seeing multiples of those, at least early in the game, right? So
yep, that's how I feel. I just don't want to see like both, you know, if I played 3 and I open 3 copies, I feel like my hand is really slow and too dead to actually play out of some of the time. And so I feel like, you know, the 2 of is a really good balance. And Mirror Force, I know there's been talk of like just drop Mirror Force and then play double Prison or something, just because, you know, Prison can get rid of Fortress and like random monsters that you don't want recurring, like in GBs and stuff. But I just found Mirror Force to be too punishing of a card, especially IRL. It's just, you know, some people have to go wide to clear your board, and if you have the Mirror Force at the right spot, you can win the game off of it.
Gotcha. No, I agree with that. I'm also just, 1, we were talking about earlier, opponent has to respect it. 2, it can be very high power. I think the biggest argument for playing the second Prison over the Mirror Force is Stardust can be a tough card for this deck sometimes, some of the time. But I honestly, I like a 1-1 split. So I guess my next question's here. I'm starting to realize that you played the MC40 that we used to play all the time, but the 41st card here, I'm looking at a 7 Tools of the Bandit. How did this perform for you? This is something I remember you bringing up as a possible side deck option back in the day, but nothing I ever took like with real consideration. So I'm curious what got you to this decision to main deck this card.
Yeah. So there's like a, you know, as I mentioned, Eric Choi. There's like a Blackwing chat that we talked about. Like, dude, how do we counter all these freaking people playing Trap Stun, Starlight Road, and like it's like the card that kills Blackwing is Trap Stun basically. Like they just run through your board. You activate Icarus, they Trap Stun, you lose the game. Basically on the spot, because Blackwings are like so narrow if they don't have Whirlwind that like if you go -1 at any given point, you can actually just lose. And so like to stop the Starlight Trap Stun blowout is the one of 7 tools in the main to like kind of counter that. I mean, you have Solemn as well, which can be similar use in those spots, and then also side one, just because it feels like that powerful of a card and that flexible of a card. I did test Road at one point, but against really good players, like they'll know how to navigate around Road. They'll, you know, start picking off back row first. They'll force you to use your bottomless first, and now all of a sudden your Road is sitting there naked, and like they might threaten you with monsters. It's just too high variance of a card, whereas I feel like 7 tools is more consistent, and I'd rather have a consistently good deck rather than always high variance, because I have higher variance power cards in different ways, like, you know, Gore's DDD as we mentioned. But yeah, 41, I know like the consistency goes like down as far as like your opening hand, but like I just like the balance of everything. Like I don't feel like I missed anything, and like you know, playing the Jar of Greed lets me know like, okay, this would have been like 41st card, because I'd rather the 41st card now would actually be the third draw trap and not the 7 tools. I feel like 7 tools would be for sure something I include, at least for the time being.
Interesting. Okay, did it ever matter that it is a chain ending card as well?
Yeah, that actually comes up like way up more often than you would think, because you know, Trap Stun would negate your own traps in a chain. So like you go Icarus and then pull up 2 cards, you know, and then being able to just negate the last trap stun, or if they try to solemn, like spell speed 3 comes up way more often than you would think. And like, yeah, I think just being able to negate the last part of the chain and ending the chain at the same time, because a lot of Vayu decks are playing Solemnless main right now, and so they don't have a response after you activate a spell speed 3 card in the main, just because they're playing Sizzle 41. But I know a lot of people also, are testing putting that in, so it's not a guaranteed thing, but yeah, it's just spell speed 3 does come up a lot more often, and it hasn't come up where I'm under 1k life and I have 7 tools set so far. I know that has happened in testing to one of the boys, but yeah, it's only like 1 out of 40 plus games or something, or matches, so
yeah,
very rare.
I can see it being like a kind of a greedy way to get a +1/+2 against cards like Icarus or DDV, and then simultaneously like the chain ending can come up in ways where you like heavy storm and your opponent might chain have multiple draw traps or a dust shoot in a draw trap, and being able to just like make your heavy storm feel like an Icarus attack on the spot. That's kind of cool too.
Yep. Even more, like they might feel super safe. They have like trap stun for dust, like yeah, like they might have solemn set for when you have heavy, and then their solemn just gets negated by 7 tools, and they're like, oh, I guess that's just game. And sometimes it is. Right.
Yeah, and I can even see it in random spots against like GBs, for example, being a very powerful card. So that's really cool. I guess the last question I have in the main deck, because obviously I'm a big fan of the MC40s, and I don't have the wherewithal to know if this is correct or not. I have to take your word for it. You've been the one grinding the deck. But I am curious. I see that you're still choosing to play a split of draw traps. Do you think this still pays dividends? Do you think it's at this point it's kind of negligible, so why not do the split? Or do you think that maybe you should just be playing the 3 Yada?
I think you should be playing 3 Yada. This is just for mental note keeping. Like if I see the Jar of Greed, I know that this is my 41st card. And if I die while I have Jar of Greed in hand, I'll know that my next card would have been what I see earlier.
Interesting.
And so it hasn't come up yet. And then also I have a faded Jar of Greed, so I also like seeing that one more than my legs.
Oh, that's a little troll.
Yeah, the 2-for-1 combo has put the Jar over the top, and then also the fake, not so fake mental game of how many draw traps am I running.
Have you ever drawn two by a spirit monster being on the board, or no?
0 times in like hundreds and hundreds of games.
That's
never occurred. Even though I have gotten like dark dusted before, but I just haven't had draw trap at that time.
When it happened,
usually,
right?
Yeah, exactly. It's usually like in a more committed game state where I've already had to use draw trap aggressively to kind of find like pulling the rug or something ahead of time.
Gotcha.
And not just like in an open board game state.
Yeah, I think I had it happen once in a DB match like a year and a half ago, maybe.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But I will say I think there might still be like just enough reason to play this as a split, because the only reason I say that is if you ran through all 3 of these cards, there's still a chance your opponent thinks you play the 3rd Yada, right? Especially with a lot of other decks playing 3-1, including decks like the Nitro Vayu deck, right?
Yep, Nitro Vayu plays 4.
So it might be enough reason if... I don't know, but yeah, I was just curious.
I don't think anyone considers like draw traps as like, like the jar thing, but yeah, it could if they count the grave and they say 2 and 1, they're like, well, that could be a draw trap technically, and rather than seeing all 3 Yadas in the grave, and they're like, well, it's way less likely or something like that.
I'm the type of guy who would math that out with like 5 cards in deck.
There's some people out there that love the math. They love that theory, and you're one of them.
All right, let's move this aside. I like this first card I see because we did not play this when we tested the deck. How was Card Trooper for you, and kind of explain why we're citing it here?
Yeah, so shout outs to Harrison on this one. He told our chat on this card. Apparently it's been cooking for him, and I think he got it from Chill Phil, who also I think the guy who played in top 8, or no, Andrew got it from, like who made top 8 at the monthly. So like it's just funny, I randomly see Blackwing players have this card now too, and I'm like, hey yo, this card's kind of nice. It's just basically an answer to set cards, because that hamster turn 1 or like at turn 2 is just way too hard of a card for Blackwings to answer typically. Like it really is the card that we can float into, put pressure on into Raikou, and like not and go plus into Raikou is crazy. Because like sure, trading with Raikou does not feel that great. It's like, yeah, you sent to 4 to our grave, but they got to mill 3 pieces, and if Vayu keeps milling, like eventually I just don't want that them to get lucky enough to just do everything they want while plussing and trading down on my cards. It feels like that's too advantageous for them.
Makes sense.
But no, Card Trooper's been really good lately, as far as like floating damage. It's been really fun to summon into boards and not have to worry about, you know, getting torrentialed and losing my one card advantage type of thing.
Okay. No, I kind of like the idea of it, specifically because of the value matchup, or really any Raikou hamster deck,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
And that might just be enough. And randomly, like, there is the benefits of hitting a value or hitting a level 3 or 4 monster for a blizzard.
Yeah.
Like, so, you know, it's interesting. Definitely, I feel like a lot of decks you can't side it into. Like, I wouldn't want to side it in against Blackwings or GBs, or, you know what I mean? But
Yep. No, you have to be careful what you side. You also have to, like even against Koopa, who I played yesterday, like decks that have access to Prisma, you have to be careful because they're siding in Sidra with Prisma plays, I feel like. And so, like, you definitely don't want to get contacted away. That's why you have to be careful about making Catastor and stuff like that into those Elemental Hero Prisma decks. It's just, as long as you're aware of cards that your opponent can be playing, like, Card Trooper can become very, very strong. And usually, he can even buy you a turn, which I think is the most underrated part, is like, I'll T-set it, and they think it's value, so they want to summon something light and just attack. And now you get to draw a card that replaced it, and now, you know, you committed a monster. And now all of a sudden, that's exactly what Blackwings want. They want you to commit a monster so that you can summon Sirocco, combo out, and then, you know, I drew that extra card. Maybe it was heavy for the turn or whatever it could be, MST. I'm just saying, like, he has a lot more applications than it looks like. It's just a one-off.
No, very true. I actually, I think that's a really good addition to the side. Not something that I probably would have done, just because it's not something I would have thought of doing. But it's really cool.
No, same thing. Yeah,
all right. I see we're still on the one Sidra, and makes sense. 2 Crow, quick question on the Crow. Are you siding any amount of these inverse value? Because I know that's a heavily debated topic.
Yeah. The new meta, I would say, for siding is siding Crows back into value, specifically if you're on Blackwing. Not if you're value versus value, I feel like it might be too slow. But Blackwing is a very punish heavy deck, and value relies on the safety of Necrogardener like a lot. Like to counter the Shura swing, because they don't mind if Greffer gets run over by Shura Gale, because they'll just negate the Shura and then have Gale run over it. But if you're able to Shura Gale plus, you know, like, or you don't even need Gale, but like just end phase Necro is like the key piece to sometimes winning that matchup, because you'll just sit with Shura in hand, not committing it, waiting for them to feel safe about Arma, send Necro, or Greffer send Necro, and all of a sudden the tides have flipped.
I see.
Like, you being able to resolve a Shura attack against them can be game winning if their hand's not fast enough, or if they're not lucky enough to win out.
Okay. So you're not often using this on values then. So it's typically to hit the Necro to enable your battle phase, or obviously like a Plague Stack is super OP.
Yeah, Plague Stack is insane. Yeah, there's a lot of times you force them into that spot, but also there's some players that will be down to hold or play DDV against you. And so you can tell, obviously, because they go turn 1, Greffer value, and then they put the piece in there, and so you just wait for them to activate it, and then now you can save yourself from getting DDV turn 1 because you have Crow in your hand, which you wouldn't be able to do with any other card because it's a hand trap.
That's true. Okay, no, I actually I like the theory, because I know previously I used to be a believer of not siding it in, and then I became a believer of siding in 1, because I wouldn't want to see multiples. But, you know, the application of hitting Gardna probably is extremely important. So I like it. I also am just now noticing for the first time that Dimensional Fissure is in the background of this art. That's hilarious. All right. Next is Book of Moon. I know this is a card I personally, in general, hate. Though I know some people swear by it. I just typically don't like cards that are inherently -1s. But it is a very high swingy card in my opinion, because if it enables Shura to kill something by battle, now it's not just a 1-for-1, but it is something that's generating advantage. How has this card been for you, and what matchups are we liking to side it in?
Yeah, like GBs, Blackwings, even like anything that synchros is like zombies, like tuner type matchups, like a good variety. Anything that sides in stun and road, you know, you want the mix-ups. Yeah, I find it to be, I think Johnny may, I'm just shouting out every person that I've got inspo from. You know. I mean, this whole side deck plan came from like Eric Choi and Harrison and Nima and all those guys, like just talking about what to do and all these specific one-off situations where it's become insane. But I think Johnny basically said Book of Moon is either okay or it's really, really good in the match. Like outside of Vayu and Frog, I think is the two words. Like it's okay, way more often, but. And everything else, it's been like really, really strong, being able to like flip Prisma down. Okay, Prisma's coming up way more often than I thought he would be in this conversation, but like if they go for Test Tiger Prisma, you flip them down, dude, that's game losing. They have Trap Sunset, they're like, wait, what? I thought you would I thought you had, you know, bottomless or whatever, and then you booked it, and now it's like Shura and then 7 tools, and it's like, uh-oh, you know,
Sure.
things get out of hand really quick when you trade downwards with Blackwings. And so you just have to be really aware of what you're playing into and what cards they're going to be playing when you're using Book of Moon. Like, yeah, the inherent -1 can make this a very not value card if you're using it as like a deep prison, but the fact that you can flex it like a deep prison is pretty good if you find the right spots for it.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, no, I mean, listen, I understand the applications of the card. The fact that it even has the application of you can draw it and play it immediately because it's a spell card, it, you know, gives it a lot of flexibility. I think it's a very flexible card, and I know it's got a lot of niche uses that you won't realize until you're in games playing with the card. I just, in a general theory, like all my cards to trade even or go positive.
Yep. Even or positive is definitely the ideal.
And only way I'm okay with them being negative is when they have the chance to go like insanely positive, which maybe the just resolving Ashura is insane enough that's enough reason to play it.
Ashura being +2, like, but battle and then summon 1 is like crazy.
Yeah, and then making a stronger monster. No, very solid. Okay, definitely something I'd have to try too.
A Consecrated Decree out also is one, like,
true, beats both those cards, right? That makes sense. Okay,
when they have both of them up, you can go Sirocco, Gale, and then make Stardust, and then now you're all of a sudden back in business, like, fully.
Okay, so I'm assuming that book is taking the place of the second fissure then, because I used to be a huge fan of double fissure.
Yeah, double fissure felt too strong back then, just also outing but it was more linear, so like this adds more player flexibility, I think.
Okay.
And like Card Trooper also being an out to like those types of decks. It's so good to be able to summon Card Trooper and try to run over Lumina, because like, yeah, you can honest, I don't care. Like,
sure,
I redraw my next one, or like, I know at the monthly, there was a board of constant, not me personally, but someone I was watching that was playing Blackwings and had Trooper. Shout out to St. Louis Car. I think Andrew, he had facing Consecrated and Cyber, he summons Card Trooper, mills 3, runs over Consecrated, and then contacts away the Cyber for, you know, +2 immediate. Like, it's just gross.
Giga busted.
It's just 2 giga busted. I was like, wow, I want to experience that high one day off my Trooper, but you know.
Yep, definitely. Okay, so then next, I see you still play Mind Control without the Raikou. I like it. I know it's a little bit higher variance, but it's just when you do hit Raikou, it's just so insane. If you hit the hamster, can suck, but like, you know, at least they're not getting the Raikou. But yeah, no, I like this. I would consider Nobleman in the spot as well, but I think this has more flexibility. So
yeah.
All right.
One more note on Minecon. It's like, I think Eric talks about like you have to play around Shura more than Minecon because there's 3 Shuras. So you can't just naked set Vayu or Necro thinking that I'm gonna Minecon it, because sometimes I will have to summon Shura and just swing.
Right.
Because I don't have a better play, and so it's like, yeah, you can risk me not like going off my plus of my one of, but there's way more cards that you don't want to get punished by in my deck than Minecon itself. So I think just having that strong mix-up is really strong, and it forces them to set the Raikou or Hamster, basically.
Yeah, well, I mean, ideally they have the Hamster, because then against your list, it beats both the Minecon and the Shura, right? So,
Yep.
But yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense that it's not very often they're bluff setting into Blackwings.
Yep.
Okay, next, one of my favorite traps. How did this perform for you?
It always performs way too strong for me. I feel like I'm the luckiest Dark Illusion player there is, because like it'd be like they activate Soul Exchange one turn, I have Illusion. Next turn they have the Monarch, like they have Treeborn and then Monarch summon, and then I have Rug for the next turn. Like I like rip back to back, and so like I feel like Dark Illusion has been one of my favorite cards ever since I added it to the list. It just, you know, you can target my back row if you want to special dad target back row. You just better hope it's not one of my 7 chainables like triple draw trap TT bottomless, and like you can outplay my one of illusion if you want, but otherwise just target my monster and then, you know, hope I don't have illusion type of play. And so like that's what the part I love about Blackwings is like your opponent has to play so specifically in order to punish you, and like if they don't follow the exact path, they can get punished very hard back. And so I think that's my favorite part about Blackwings, is being able to disguise what cards you're setting, and like should I play around Icarus, or should I play around, you know, 7 tools, or should I play around bottomless and stuff like that. I think the mix-ups is the best part by far for Blackwings. Yeah,
no, I love that. It's impossible to tell what your Blackwing opponent has set because they play so many different traps, especially in the way that we've designed this deck, and then how you've even added other one-ofs like the 7 tools. So and even into the side deck. But one thing that's not a one-of that I think we traditionally would play as a one-of is this triple pulling the Rug. I'm curious as to how we reach this conclusion, because in my general mindset, I like the frog matchup, and I wouldn't think you need to side this heavy. Obviously, there's other applications here, so I'd like to hear the rationale for opting to play 3 of these in the side.
Yeah, I think Rug is just that card against Hero Frog in this matchup specifically. This whole, as I said, like this whole side plan was like made from the Mind Meld thing of all the Blackwing players like Choi and Nima and Harrison just like talking about what the best card could be. But yeah, just having the consistency of seeing Rug within your first few turns is just too high value against Hero Frog. Like as long as you can stop the Monarch from happening, like we'll find a way to deal with Zero. Like Zero is definitely really tough to deal with. Like if Frog sees all 3 engines, it's definitely the best deck, right? And so
Yeah.
like, if we can stop one of the core pieces like the Monarch train, all of a sudden like they feel on the back foot like almost immediately. Like if you can stop their first Monarch or 2, the game is basically over. And so like our idea is like you know, Blackwing just do the Blackwing thing of just go face, and then if you have Gores, Heavy, and Monarch, like that's one of the games we lose. But if you don't, you better have like the out for pulling the rug plus getting slammed. Otherwise, you know, and we basically just force a very low like variance game state. It's like you either have it or you don't. Like there's not as much player skill, which you know does suck, but some matchups you just have to play like that. I feel like you just have to go aggressive with Blackwings because that's what they're known best.
Yeah, yeah. It sounds like you're kind of you don't want it to be a 55-45 in Blackwing's favor. You want a card that simplifies it and lends itself to your game plan and really swings it into your favor if you resolve it. So I don't hate it. Definitely something to test. And then I do like it kind of fixes some awkwardly bad matchups, like the Hero Machina deck, for example.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I remember there's I think a Nationals where we both lost to that deck, the Hero Machina deck, and we're like, why is this deck so tough? And I can imagine this card absolutely making it an easier matchup.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, finals of the monthly was Machina Hero.
Yep.
So having 3 of these definitely helped sack that one, I would say. But no, shout out to Cuba. Like just having this card against stopping Gearframe Stratos multiple times from happening, and Caius as well. It's just like that's some of their strongest plays is, you know, and so like if you're able to get a board and start doing damage with a rug behind, you know, they can feel normal summon reliant at points, especially when you get to go first. So
Definitely. I'd say these are standard, but you're also opting to side the second 7 tools. What matchups are we opting to bring this in for?
Starlight Road Trap Stun matchups. You just want to see this card like pretty immediately because, you know, if you trade favorably with Icarus and then 7 tools to back it up, I wonder what deck will do better in like a top deck game state, the combo deck that relied on that Trap Stun to resolve, or the Blackwing deck that's just trying to hit your face with big monsters. It's like, you know, Blackwings have good quality monsters, not the best, but like they're good at hitting face and they're good at like, you know, if you have the Blizzard in hand for the final push, it's like Blizzard is that guy for sure in the low resource game states. There's not many boards that can deal with a Blizzard when you're like 3 cards, 2 cards, 2 cards type of thing. I mean, Ab-Zero is definitely the one that comes to mind, but you got to see a lot of engines to get him running.
Right.
But Blizzard, you just needed one of your guys that was summoned earlier in your grave. So
for sure. No, that makes a lot of sense to me. And I guess the only note of the extra deck is we are opting to play the Mistworm here over the second Armor Master, but in a 1 value type of build. I think this is pretty standard, right?
Yep. I think even in the boys like that played double value, they also opt for the Mistworm. It just rarely comes up. Dude, even with the 1 value, I had it come up where I needed the double Arm Master, which I thought was funny. Like, because I synced like a live value with an Armed Wing I had on field, and then I had to. But then I was like, oh wait, I can't make Armor Master first because I don't have 2 freaking Armor Masters, so I had to make Black Rose, and then from grave, you know, get Armor Master, and thankfully it's still enough for game. Like I still had the damage, but it's just funny to me that like
it could
technically I should have 2 Armor Masters there, you know, instead of Black Rose into fake Armor Master. Yeah, you can't fake Mistworm, so like he's just too applicable in some spots. So.
Yeah, no, I was about to say I've made Mistworm a handful of times and where it was needed. And it sounds like even in the spot where you could have made the second Armor Master, it wasn't needed to go for the lethal line.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, sweet. And before we get into the tournament run, I just want to do a quick run over your monthly list that you just won with this past weekend. It doesn't look like too different. I guess the notable changes I see here is we opted to main deck the Dark Illusion over the Deck Devastation Virus. And then in the side deck, I do notice supplementing the Dark Illusion, we have a Starlight Road, so DDV nowhere to be found. Why did we make these changes? Was it a tournament meta call, a theory you wanted to try out?
Yeah. So just because DDV was hit or miss for me at the LDS, I just wanted to play. Like I think all my monthly wins, honestly, I've included Dark Illusion in the main. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure like my Attack of the Giant card win has Dark Illusion in the main. So it's pretty funny that like my favorite like performing card is when Dark Illusion is in the main, and it's been really strong. Like I haven't had it where of like, oh, I bricked on Dark Illusion, I auto lost the game. It's more like I got heavied or something, and then it doesn't. But Dark Illusion acts as like a pseudo main deck pulling the rug as well, like without having to cost me half my life. It's just as long as you can find a good spot for it. I found some pretty niche spots for it. It's been pretty cool. It's been a very fun card. I suggest any Blackwing player to test, and it's just like a very fun mix-up card. And then yeah, I just didn't feel strongly about siding one DDV. Like I feel like people are aware that Blackwings can side DDV, and so like they're already siding down on it. So I'd rather be like, let's just play Protect the Castle at this point. Like, let me set 5 traps that you have to navigate through, and if you heavy me, I also win the game on the spot. Like, I think at Starlight Road is definitely worse against better players because, as I said before, it's like something that they'll know how to navigate around. But sometimes you can force them into spots where they have to make the play, like it go away, and like if they solemn, but I have double 7 tools set up, it's like my road is also going through, so it's pretty fun. Mix-ups to have, and I just want people to always be respecting Starlight Road at some point. I could be playing DDV, I could be playing Starlight Road. It's like,
there we go.
Just be ready for anything. I don't know.
All right, heck yeah. And I will say with Dark Illusion specifically, I remember when I did well at Orlando with Blackwings, one of the notes I had was that Dark Illusion I thought overperformed for me. But if it keeps overperforming for you and it overperformed for me, maybe the card is actually just that good. Like, you know what I mean?
LSP3 mix up, bro.
I mean, it's no different than like a battle trap in the sense that like if your opponent opts to not play into it, you're not activating the card. So,
it is a hall pass, as they say, but it's definitely one that can punish the best cards in the game: Brain Con, Sirocco Pump for game, Dark or Dad, and Icarus attacks, stuff like. It's just so funny that it can randomly come. The worst time is, I think, actually one time I did lose because I swung with Dark Illusion set and it was a Mirror Force and not Deep Prison. Like if it was Deep Prison, I win. But because I had to lose my field into Mirror Force there, I think it was only 1 or 2 monsters anyways. But because it was specifically Mirror Force, like Dark Illusion can't do anything about it, and so.
Yeah, where in that spot maybe a DDV could have if it was a big monster.
Exactly. It was for sure Sirocco when I had that. That's why I remember like, oh wow, it's so interesting that it could have been something else. But this was like a while ago. I just remember the one time Dark Illusion has failed, but 99% of the time I found it to be better than not.
Gotcha. Yeah, and going back to my belief system when I play Blackwings, I will never. I mean, I guess never say never, but I don't think I would ever not play at least one DDV in the main. Because it's just one of those cards that gives you like the an unfair edge against other very quality players that can just outright win the game on the spot. Because that's one of the issues I find myself in is and even sometimes against players who aren't as good as you or are making mistakes, cards like DDV can be very volatile against you, but they can also be like just outright win you games and not give your opponent a chance. And I think against bad players, it's good in the same way that like Mirror Force is if they play into it, you're getting extra value, right? When they battle trap you and you chain DDV or so have you. So I'm a believer in playing it, but I also don't hate main decking the Dark Illusion. So don't know what can be said about that. All right. Any closing thoughts before we get into your tournament runs?
No, I think I think the biggest thing is still looking at it and seeing 41 is definitely the biggest meme. I know, like I've always wanted to cut down to 40 because you obviously want to see Whirlwind Dad and everything, but it's comfort over everything is how I see it. Like, yeah, the math does like increase slightly worse, but as long as you're comfortable using all the traps that you have in your deck, all 41 cards in your deck, if you're comfortable with it and getting max value with it the whole time, that's way more important than the point whatever percent of seeing one more card. But no, I don't know. I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Just, at least Edison is too inconsistent for it to come up enough, like where it's like, oh, you should for sure play 40. I know like the modern philosophy of always playing a deck that has 37 cards is kind of like a thing, but I mean, if you saw Frazier's like 60 card pile video, that thing is cooking the out of people. So
yeah,
I feel like
I don't know. I definitely, all my current player brain theories I had when I came in Edison have drastically changed because I would have never considered playing like 41 or 42 card decks. And I would have been like a 40 card main type of guy, and I still am. But you know, there's definitely justifications, just because, like, I mean, for example, it means that when your Shura is resolving, it's more likely that your Vayu and Gales are going to be in deck, right? Stuff like that. So who knows? But with that said, I want to hear about your LDS run, since you did go 7-1 in Swiss, correct?
Yep, 7-1 in Swiss, lost round 3, but everything else was pretty smooth sailing. Yeah, I can go over the matchup report real quick here. I have it pulled up.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, round 1 played Vayu. That was 2-0, I believe. But yeah, basically game 1, I set up a hand where I was able to like build up the cards and actually go for an OTK. And he's like, I don't think I've ever been OTK'd by Blackwings before. It's like typically you don't get OTK'd by Blackwings, I would say. And then game 2 I won because of Gores against Vayu, and that card is like blowout. Because they just have to waste too much resources getting rid of it, and like if they don't have the Raiko answer, it starts pressuring them way too hard because the other birds start flocking in afterwards. So yeah, round 1 was a win versus Vayu. Round 2 was a win versus Vayu. I just happened to open really insane game 2. But I could tell he was a really good player, just the way he was committing his cards, like wasn't playing into certain things, and definitely knew his way around that deck. Round 3 was my first loss, and I was like, oh man, that's annoying. It was Nitro, so this is when I couldn't out the Trooper, and I dead drew the 3 power cards, like DDV, Gores, and Black Whirlwind, which are like insane cards, but I just can't deal with a 1900 Trooper because I have Bottomless, Solemn, and Icarus set or something, and so I just didn't see a monster. I think I lured away a Bora instead of a Dad, because I had like a Shuron field. I was like, sure, I can just draw into other monsters, but that was the first time where I was like, oh wow, this Bora actually would have answered this Trooper in a way that Dad definitely couldn't in that time. And so I just didn't expect to die to 4 or 5 Trooper attacks in a row. But that was the biggest learning lesson from that match. Also, like usually at this point, like I get pretty tilted, I think. Just like a match I could have won, I was ahead type of thing. But then, just talking with you, Eric, and everyone like over the past year, definitely mental recovery has been a big thing, and just being able to make sure that you're still locked in and able to win out the rest of the tournament, play out the rest of your rounds in Swiss as strong as you can, is definitely really important.
No, for sure. And I will say, just as a spectator, I have personally noticed you have a different confidence about you when you play, whereas I felt like there used to be like a worry from you that you'd screw up, and now I feel like that's like the furthest thing going in your head. It's more so just like you're just thinking of the game itself, like what's the best line here, what should I do, how would this person handle this situation, and those are the thoughts you're having, rather than like, I don't want to screw this up. If I activate this, am I going to throw the game? Like, I felt like you have like a difference in mentality when you play the game.
Oh no, it's so different now. Like, after like, I don't remember, maybe the giant card or something, like there's just been something that clicked where it was like, all right, I don't even care. Like if I specifically win this exact match, I just want to make sure I'm playing the best I can. And so it's like, just lock in and look at what cards are on the field I have to respect and everything. And then what my opponent is like, what potential plays they could be doing, like even misplays and stuff like that, trying to account for as many cards as you can and the most likely scenarios. And so like that has worked out really well for me. Just having a bunch of great people to talk to about this has been really helpful. And so I think I'll do another podcast on like just performance and under pressure. I think would be a really good one as well, rather than just mental recovery, which sorry about never posting after my first video, everybody, but there'll be another one soon.
Coming out every 4 months.
Once every 6 months, you'll get a little something. So my next round was Amaryllis. I have not seen Amaryllis in a while. I feel like everyone always opts to play like Yugioh at this point if they're playing Plant, but it was cool to see. The unfortunate thing about this is he milled a Dandelion, which let me pierce over both, and I just basically won the game off that.
Gross.
Pretty funny, gross Blackwing stuff, Next round was if you have anything to say, just feel free to interrupt me. I'm just going through the
No, you're good. You're good. It's just good matchup for Blackwing, so it makes sense that would be the punish.
For Blackwing. Yep. It's just fun. And I think he had Gores too, which is like funny. I don't know. It's just funny how the cards play out sometimes. Yep. There's Blackwing next round. I believe I 2-0'd this as well. Like he's definitely solid, but I happen to have good cards, and I think 7 tools. Just like I just feel so super comfortable in the Blackwing mirror. It's like you have to also be really good at the mirror, or have Whirlwind Shura plus, or heavy Whirlwind Sirocco to make it feel like I can't play. But for the most part, like I think you feel the same way. Like it used to be like the slam win thing, but there's a lot of player interaction you can find in Blackwing mirrors.
Yeah, I feel like the general consensus for the longest time was that the mirror's trash. And obviously, don't get me wrong, when your opponent starts the game off with Whirlwind, Shura, Solemn, Ick, or something, something like that, it can get
like
out of hand.
Those 20-30% of games that I
Right.
don't really want to be a part of, but over half the games you have a say in. Is what
I would say like 70% of games are like chess matches almost. So really cool.
What opening are you playing? What opening am I playing? Type of thing. And how do you, at what point do you want to commit? Because I also want to see if I have the clapback to beat your commit.
Yep. And I feel like when I played Blackwing, I used to always say how the Blackwing mirror is my favorite match to play, and everyone would just give me the side eye and dude, all right, you sack. That's probably what they're thinking.
You're fucking sack, dude. That's why you're fucking always open Whirlwind dad, bro.
except I was not, but
except you don't, and you mill your dads now. It's so sick. When you get your positive variance, I'm just gonna be like, yep, that's. It's gonna be 10-0 GG.
I don't draw terrible hands or anything, but it is kind of absurd how often I've milled dad in recent tournaments.
More than I've seen you draw it, so I don't know. That's great. I mean, I guess it makes sense.
All right. Let's get moving. What's next?
Next was Vayu. I had that on my list. I don't remember exactly who I played. It might have been someone really good, and I'm just brain farting, so I'm sorry. Next after that was Diva Quick Draw / Plant something. I'm not sure, but it was 2-1. Pulling the rug really clutched it out versus stuff like this, just Diva plus Caius decks. Just rug is just insane. At first I thought it was Diva Hero, but then I saw plants and stuff. I don't know what's going on, so I just played it but yeah, rug cooked, and I was able to win that 2-1. And then last round was against ×2, Machina Cat something.
Oh, that deck was cool. The Rescue Cat Machina deck. That deck was terrifying too. It just explodes out of nowhere.
Yeah, I didn't even know he was on the cat stuff, but someone told me later I saw him play Summoner Monk and stuff. I'm like, yo, I almost got OTK'd is what you're telling me. DK'd.
It's a good thing you had an aggressive hand.
Thank God I had a good hand. Otherwise, I could have been sweaty. But no, I won that pretty quickly, and securing the top cut there was just mental. Really felt rewarding to think about how far mental fortitude and everything.
And you had the chance to top even if losing, but it always feels nice to just lock it in with the win.
Right, for sure, secure that. I did lose to Mac in the top cut of this event. Shout out to Mackie, ended up getting top 4, I believe. So kudos to him for doing that. That's super sick. But yeah, I think overall I felt like I played well that event. I did feel tilted after because I feel like I definitely could have done some damage in top cut if I made it through. But the cards fall a certain way some of the time, and so you don't always get to do that. Yeah,
and I know you're a big proponent of I need to play perfectly if I want to do well, kind of like how Shen is.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean there were a few micro mistakes, right? So
definitely.
It's good to know though that if that gets cleaned up, what stops you? So
yeah, no, I definitely agree. You definitely have to be playing very clean with Blackwing. So if you give them room to punish you, definitely your deck can fail you at some points, and that's part of the game. Yeah.
Alrighty, hell yeah. Let's look at your monthly list again here. Let's run through that tournament because I actually just experienced watching you in this after I got eliminated in top 8. So let's hear your tournament run because you were my saving grace. Before we even get to it, I played Chai last round of Swiss. After I lost round 1, I win out. I'm the lowest X1. I play the undefeated, who is our man here, Chai T, and he just gives me the win so I can get a top cut. So this guy didn't actually lose a single match in this tournament. He probably would have cooked me with the run he was on, but yeah, let's hear it, brother. How'd your tournament run go?
Yeah, I mean, I also tactfully did not play last round to save my brain power for top cut. That's also, it's not because I'm intentionally trying to collude you into. Yeah,
that's not collusion. You can give wins.
Dude, I'm just trying to conserve my mental is all, dude. Even if you were, you're good, bro. But no, round 1 I played against Psychic and Gravekeeper Spy deck, which was a little spooky because I was like, God damn it, dude! I took out DDV this tournament and I would have destroyed this deck if I was right away set Spy, and I'm like, oh my god. And then, but I end up winning that. Just better deck quality over time and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Nothing too crazy. Round 2 was versus Wing Rhinos. Spell speed 3 comes up definitely here.
Okay, yeah. Then I can imagine 7 Tools being OP in that matchup.
Yeah, they start going for Chain Link 2, stuff where before it becomes into, what is that? The one where you draw 2 and it starts with an A. I don't know.
Accumulated fortune.
Yeah, accumulated fortune. Like before it gets there, you just stop them right in the middle of their chain. Now that accumulated fortune's just dead forever.
Yep. And then randomly having legacy or jar when they also have it and they're trying to set up an accumulated can be really good because they can't have multiple cards with the same name in the chain. So if they go jar,
if they go jar,
Rhinos,
you have the jar,
and you change
another
jar.
reason for jar.
Yep.
Another reason for jar.
That is.
That's so funny. But no, yeah, winged rhinos round 2. That actually went to game 3, and like I got that by having a read on Gores, and was able. Dude, I set Card Trooper and so he has to commit a monster, aka Breaker, and I don't have back row because I'm not committing back row with Card Trooper because I want that to float, so I just have that set. And so he runs it over with Breaker, and now I'm able to play around Gores by summoning Sirocco Bora, pump over, and then the next turn, like I basically set up a way where I can go for 6k, and then he shows me the Gores at the end. And I was like, I knew it, and that's after getting Dusher. Like I could have gone for a commit, just like slam and then lose the Gores on the spot, but like that was just one of the moments where I was like, okay, that's a pretty good read that I had, so I'll keep playing tight and see what happens.
Yeah, thought pretty far ahead there. That's really good, dude.
Yeah, I was sick to see that. And then round 3 was against Koopa, who ended up getting second at the event. Yeah, I was like, God, this deck is made to beat Blackwings, isn't it? Is it not like Fortress Ab-Zero spam and you just lose the game? So I know
and normal summons that are bigger than everything but Sirocco.
Like they just want to trade your freaking guy with Gear Frame Stratos, and yeah, I don't know. It's definitely a matchup where you have to play super tight. And yeah, game 1 I was able to bring it down to like super low resource, but I ended up losing. And I'm like, dude, if I can do that like without my side deck yet, like I feel like I can reverse 2-0 this, and I did. And so like after that, I'm like, okay, today could be the day where like I just go like, you know, Super Saiyan again and just win out. So that definitely gave me the confidence for the rest of the round. Like I feel like when I play with confidence, there's like a different level of reads that I try to do and stuff like that, which is definitely could bite me in the back sometimes, but like more often than not, it's good. So
I was telling you this at the event, but it was before Top Cut too, that you've like developed aura now. Like, and I know that's like the joke we talk about, but like when I see you play, it's like completely different than how we interact when like we play or we hang out or whatever. It's like a level of locked in that, you know, it's almost concerning. You're like, holy shit, this dude's him. So it's sick that you've developed that, because I'm not gonna lie to you, the first few, like when I first met you, I think it was at Indy and we were play testing back, oh man, was this 2024?
Yeah, that's only like a year and a bit ago, but it feels like we know each other.
Yeah, I know. But I remember when we met there and we were play testing afterwards, and I did not think of you very highly as a player at that point in time. And
Hey,
now
that's fair, dude. I feel like that's completely fair.
yeah, you're on Diva Hero you're on Diva Hero, the combo version, and I remember I kept beating you, and I don't know, it was just like I could tell that you didn't see the game the same way you see it now, and also I don't think you cared or had the same confidence.
Yeah.
And now it's like you're a freaking machine, dude. You're an absolute beast. Like you see everything, you're planning ahead. You tell me like you'll make, I remember we'll be watching you sometimes and I'll whisper to someone and I'll be like, oh, he has to do this, this, and this. Like, I'm not sure he's going to see it though, because like it's hard things to find, and I get to see both your hands too, obviously. And then you just do the exact play. I'm like, oh my God, he's so good. He's so good. So that's awesome. But
thank you so much, bro. No, I appreciate it. Yeah, the level up has been insane. This core squad has helped me achieve that for sure. And you know, Retro Reborn 2 just like helping me give him another reason to stay locked in. Like I think, yeah, since sponsoring, I've won an event and top 16 the other major, so I'll take it.
Holy, we got a 3v3 coming up too.
Oh yeah, and that'll be fun for sure. I wonder who our third will be.
Yeah, it could be anyone.
Could be anyone. Where was I on this list of troll games? Round 4 played against Vayu. This is where Crow came up again, like not just the end phase Necro, but I basically forced a really simplified game state again, where I basically have Stardust plus 2 back row of protection or something, and I think like a Aura. It might have been, yeah, but basically he was forced to run his Vayu into my piece, and I was able to, before main phase 2, just throw away the light and dark in his grave, like whichever one that was better. I think it was Vayu.
Yeah.
But then he didn't have access to Chaos Orc, and he instantly had to scoop on the spot because, you know, Crow just has random applicabilities throughout the game, and especially when they're playing Chaos Orc and they're relying on the lights that you can get rid of with, you know, all your other cards. It's very cool.
Pretty nice.
Yeah, it's a pretty good card. round 5 was on stream versus Hero Frog. Did a cute play of like had Soroko with Ica set, and then he didn't want to bring back Treeborn because if he tries to activate Treeborn, I'll just get rid of his dupe block. And so he just like, all right, I'll pass for one turn and see what happens. I think I draw the Kalute for that turn. I'm like, oh, that's game, because I special Bora, pump the Bora to 37, sack the Soroko already pumped for another Soroko. Yep. Pump it again, 57. Icarus attack away the Soroko's and attack for 85.
Oh way.
Yeah, it was a pretty nutty. I was just like, oh wow, this is pretty funny that you probably feel decently safe being at 8,000. It's like one of those things where you're like, I don't die to Blackwings, for 8k like with Gores in hand and dupe block, like that's just not a thing. And then all of a sudden he's like, you have 2 Kalutes? I was like, yeah. And yeah, it's just been, that was a really fun match to play. I think just being able to weather the storm in a couple of the games and then just have the Rugs game 3 going first is like, that's one of those good night type of situations, I would say. Round 6 was against Kalenda. Like I think most of these, like I love having to play like top level players, but like I like opening broken against them because I don't want to actually play a game against like them. I think that's why we all play power cards in our deck.
Right.
So I just had OP opening game 1 and 3, and I was able to convert. Like I know against other opponents, Kalenda would probably be able to find a way in a hole, but like I just was able to play, conservative enough, or like just the strength of my deck enough where it worked out with Whirlwind. And so definitely need Whirlwind to win a tournament. I'll say that. Like if you see Whirlwind zero times, you're not going to win with Blackwings. Like it's not that good of a deck. Like throughout, if you play 8 rounds of Swiss and top cut and you see it 0 times, there's just no way.
Yeah, my mentality is if every 3 games I see it once, so just once a match, I'll figure out a way to win that match is my mindset.
Yeah, as long as you see it when you need it the most, like Avatar style, like then you'll be able to convert, I think.
Yeah, no, definitely. And then round 7, I heard you were terrified and didn't want to play your opponent.
I was scared of playing, so I just didn't want to play. Like I heard he was like an insane guy that just tops every event he goes to, so I just didn't want to play him. And yeah, so
thanks, buddy.
That's what happened for my Swiss rounds, and then top 8 was against, I believe, Philip, who was the RBT Denver winner. Day 2 with Blackwing. So like definitely not someone to like. I think that's the best part about TGS is like the good quality player density is so high. It's like 70 players, but like 20 of them can be top cut / event winners basically.
Yeah, I think we had 78 players for this last one, right?
Yeah, I think so, which is pretty good. I think that's around the same size as the one where I got the Caius from as well.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny, like 77 or 78, I think. But yeah, so definitely not a free top 8 match. It was definitely down to the wire. But yeah, I ended up clutching it out because of 7 tools. I 7 tools in Icarus, and he just didn't have enough monster quality to fight back, and I was able to win that one. So I was like, wow, this card's just broken. Top 4 was on stream versus Fletcher. I know that he happened to knock you out with like a Soroko at the end, I believe.
Oh yeah, that was pretty sweet. Yeah,
that's pretty sweet.
He recognized right away. He accidentally activated a Vayu effect when he shouldn't have, and it allowed me to be in the game because he couldn't immediately drop dad. So now he was playing in a way that he couldn't ever drop it because he saw my hand, and eventually I have brain. So he wasn't allowed to force it, and he knew I had Gores as well. So he had to play in a way where, like, if I did clear everything, he was able to manipulate his grave to 3 darks and use dad as counterplay. But I made a choice to... He had 2 Sorokos gone, one was banished, one was engraved, and I made a choice of he only kills me through Gores is if he draws the 3rd Soroko. I know this isn't about me at all, but I just need to explain. If he draws the 3rd Soroko. Otherwise, I have a lot of top decks where I can actually make it so I clear everything, and if he does that, he's not outright winning the game. Like if I draw a bottomless, or if I draw a DD Crow where he can't even drop dad if I go for that line. And I also was really close to just throwing out game because I think he was at like 66 or something, and I had the brain as well. So I was playing a wait and see game.
Brain, Caius, Gores, and I was like, how does he lose here? And I was like, oh, Soroko is definitely a way to.
Yeah. And then
I wasn't on Fletcher's side, so I didn't see all the cards he had access to.
Yeah, and I knew the cards from an earlier DDV that he had MST and dad in hand. So, yeah, but then he top decked 3rd Icarus, which was, funnily enough, we checked my next top deck, it would have been Crow. So I actually would have just gone in and then prevented him from dropping dad preemptively.
Dude, it's a game of inches.
It is a game of inches, but
it's crazy. Like,
but to be honest, if he like just drops the dad immediately, because I didn't draw a brain for not the next turn but the turn after that. If he drops the dad immediately, I just lose the game, so I should have lost anyways. And he recovered well after the initial mistake. He played well after the fact. So
no, yeah, Fletcher's definitely a very solid player too. Like, I mean, he obviously beat Marcus. Like, even if it was like a top deck at the end, like being able to beat Marcus is like a huge thing. I feel like this guy's fucking super consistent. You know, he's not making misplays, so you have to either do very well.
No, and Fletcher tops events too. It's Fletcher's a good player.
Fletcher top RBT Chicago. Like, he's definitely a very solid. Like, I'm just saying, like, this is not just a free low random, you know, tournament. I just happened to beat like 7 randoms, and then I'm just saying it was a tough battle, and I just happened to sack my way through. Is all I'm saying.
Well, so in top 4 against Fletcher, how'd that match go?
Yeah, so game 1 I miscalculate because at the end of one of his turns he says 46 43, and I'm like, yep, 46 43. And so like in my head I was like, I'm 46, he's 43, even though he said it in his POV. And so I'm like, oh, I have 4300 damage in hand, so I just like slam all my cards with like I don't remember, basically a way to guarantee that I can hit for 43 because there's no necro engrave. Okay. And then I was like, oh wait, he's the 46, I'm the 43, and I just leave him at 300 and I lose game 1. And I'm like, I suck. Like, you know, when the world needs you most, I failed or whatever. But like, I still feel like, dude, like if I'm recovered from those mental spots, I feel like I can recover from any mental spot, because I'm in my head, I'm like, well, that's fine. Like I can still, because I found advantage, like to get to a point like that. I know that I can still win the whole match because like there's gonna be player interaction and stuff. Like I got DDV'd that game and I almost won basically. And so like, yeah, I was like, it's slightly better that I don't win that game, because then it just looks extra sacky that like, oh, he's just lucky that, you know. So like having to reverse 2-0 Fletcher was definitely not easy, and
right.
You know, 7 tools in game 3 I think was what sealed the deal, because he, you know, did the DDV Sirocco play again, but 7 tools in it let me disguise like my gores and my other cards, and so it's like, yeah, 7 tools has been really insane. And usually I don't keep in that many copies of 7 tools against Vayu, because you don't want to get it Raiko, Hamster, all that stuff, but because I know he's a player that will be down to play that DDV side plan against Blackwings, like that's like a high level you know, decision if you want to play that. But I did feel like he was going to play double DDV against me. I wanted to have that 7 tools ready, and it came in clutch. So
hell yeah.
All right, and then my side plan.
And then in the finals you have a rematch, and the run back's always scary, especially when it's not a great matchup.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, dude, what a way to cap this off against like our toughest matchup, quote unquote. But no, playing against Koopa was really fun. I think somehow I found a game line through game 1 with like whirlwind and pitching and stuff. Yeah, no, that was really good. I liked that line a lot. I think that was a really in-depth analysis, and you set it up the turn before, because you had a whirlwind play and you accepted, all right, I'm gonna hold the blizzard, and yeah, no, I thought that was really clean. And I was
then
like 8k life, so I was like, as long as he doesn't slam for 8k full, like I can take literally 7k and I'll be fine, because I'll just, you know, recur everything and just go for game the next turn. So I was like, it does look like the best play for him would just be hit for like 25 pass, because like how am I going to kill him through like multiple back row plus fortress up and all that? But then, you know, it's all set up, it's all pre-planned basically. You saw behind me. And then I
remember in game 2 you drew all 3 pulling the rugs over the course of 4 turns.
Yeah,
and he never normal summoned and activated an effect the whole time.
Yeah, that was a siding error going second. I probably would only do 2 going second, like to actually play, but no. Seeing all 3 rugs, I thought this was a meme. I was like, that's so hilarious. I know that like some people might feel like it's too dead and like you'll side out of it because like you don't want to draw it dead, but like I commit when I try to do things usually. So like I'm just like, F it. I'm just gonna still keep in 3. I want to see it in my opening hand versus him going first game 3. And yeah, I think that's basically what won me the game as well, because he went for instant fusion Caius, and that was +1 immediately after I whirlwind resolved. And yeah, definitely game 3 was the sackiest of them all, I would say. But you know, sometimes it falls like that, and you definitely need luck to win a tournament.
No, for sure. And one of my theories, especially when siding 3 ofs, is I'd rather, in the matchups I want to see the card, I'd rather see 2 than 0. So I mean, obviously maybe not 3 than 0, but that's a mathematical improbability. So
we love math around here is what we're saying.
Yes, sir. And holy cow, dude. So you're telling me you just top 16 the LDS, which is a 256 person capped event, going 7-1, and then you turn around, instantly win a 78 person event. And
going 9-0.
Yeah, not dropping a single match the whole time. You're an absolute fucking beast, dude. What the? I'm glad I got you on my team. I'm about to get carried, bro. This is gonna be sweet.
No, dude, what do you mean? I'm just here chilling. I happen to have a good, you know, squad of people around. I loved all the support I got all weekend, and yeah, just helped me keep my mental in check, and so yeah, it's been really fun.
Dope ski, brother. Well, I am proud of you. And before we hop off, do you got any shout outs you want to give?
Oh shit! Yeah, I have a whole notepad of freaking shout outs.
Let's hear them. Let's hear them.
I think I've been like, saying it the whole time, but yeah, shout outs to my wife. Just sending her updates in between the rounds, getting the support system there. She's always been there for me, and I think I've shouted her out before. I love her a lot. My brother and sister-in-law who've been in Japan for the past couple of weeks. They're like super jealous of them, but because I'm having a good time over here while they're having a good time over there. Retro Reborn, our sponsor, just working with Nick has been really, really fun, really easygoing, just discussing events for next year, and just super excited to see how Edison turns out for 2026. Like in a year where we didn't think that there was going to be events, there's literally like double or triple the amount. So that's so awesome. Like shout out to LDS for doing hosting as well. Biggest shout out at LDS, Eric Dahan, Eric Choi, mentioned a few times already. His name is coming up in the scene a lot more and more. Like I think he's been mentioned on Fraser's channel before, but he was our amazing host for LDS. Like it felt like a 5-star hotel, like staying at his place.
It was insane.
Jason and Eric. Yeah, definitely the best place that we ever stayed at for Yugioh before. And honestly, just like worldwide, like I've been to a lot of different hotels, and his hospitality was insane. He has insane cardboard collection. Follow him at BLACKWING Maxer on Instagram. It's like if you're a BLACKWING guy and you're listening to this podcast right now, definitely go check out his Instagram. It's some beautiful cardboard out there. He keeps hooking me up and the boys, with infinite deals and cards. Like we just love him so much, and he's a hidden boss right now. Like I feel like
dude,
no
he's
one
insane.
knows of his he's actually he's this
he went into the hyperbolic time chamber and was trained by the best players in the game, and then also just grinded, and he's OP as F, dude.
If he gets to go to events next year, dude, you're gonna see his name come up a lot more. And the funniest thing was, you know how they do deck checks for LDS? Basically at LDS, they were looking for the deck list to verify, and they're like Eric Choi to the stadium, and I was like, what? Or like to the front, and I was like, what's up? And then they were like, yeah, you spelled your name wrong on this list. And I was like, what? And then he's like, yeah, you put in Choi instead of Chai. And I was like,
that ain't me, brother.
That ain't me, brother. He's like, you're 41 card Blackwing list, right? I was like, yeah. You're the guy that's maining 7 tools? Yeah. And then he's like, so it's like the Patrick Wallet thing. And then I was like, so it's me. And it's like, nope. And so and then they're kind of like, let's go check back. And they're like, oh, I found you. You're Eric Chai. And I was like, that is me. So it's just funny that the freaking one letter diff actually came up with the 41. It's just too funny.
That's hilarious.
I thought that was like the perfect way to cap off like the LDS event. I thought that was hilarious. Oh my God. I'll never forget that story. And then continuing with the shout outs that this, but yeah, all the Chicago boys that came with me, Marcus bought my flight for this one. I got him on the next. Shout outs to you for having me here as well. Eric, Jason, GG, Kevin, Wu, Gary that couldn't make it. Just all the boys. Morgan also topping the LDS. Like he's a beast playing Bayou. I know that he's one of the resident Chili's members. So always happy to see more and more people top from there. Everyone that was there physically from Chicago: Jeremy, Carter, David, Hector, the Blackwing boys, Nima, Eric Dahan, Harrison, Jason G. You guys all know who you are. Discussing all the Blackwing tech that we've had and the situations that came up definitely helped me throughout my literally past like 20 whatever matches. Like every single interaction that we've talked about has helped. The Hawaii boys, Matt, Tomei, Harrison, you guys are freaking sick and giving us snacks from Hawaii. I know it's Matt that hooked it up, but yeah, too many cool people, bro. Mac for beating my ass in Top Cut, making top 4.
We tested with him the night before too.
Yeah, I know, that's so. And you got him off Nitro, and he actually topped because he did play Nitro.
Sorry, buddy. I'm sorry.
Dude, you cooked my ass, bro. No, I'm just kidding. No, Jorge for being like the GOAT judge that we had at the event. I know there was like some hiccups here and there, but overall event ran really smoothly. TGS being the best high level Edison regional that we have in the area. Definitely come out if you can. I know we're having another one monthly next month in December, so if you can come out, please do. And then is that it? I think that's it.
Nothing. I don't think you're missing anything.
I hope I'm not. Okay, if I'm missing something, I'm so sorry. Please. I'll top again, and
I'll get you next time. We'll get you next time. Exactly. All right. Well, hell yeah, brother. Like I said, super proud of you. Thanks for coming on. This was a little bit over an hour long, but I'm sure that our Blackwing lovers are absolutely going to enjoy this episode. So
I hope so. I hope so. Yeah, of course.
all right, and if you haven't already, go subscribe to TCG, baby.
Wait till my next video, bro. Just wait till my next video.
All right, peace.